Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Umrah al-Tamattu' in brief, the manasik of Umrah. So the most important issue was Ihram, how to become Muhrim and Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. Now we are going to continue the manasik of Ihram. We mentioned, remember these 2 points. All the manasik al-Hajj, verbal thing, are only 2 parts. The verbal obligations, the labbaik and salat, these 2 needs to be in Arabic language. In all manasik al-Hajj, purification is not required except for 2 things: tawaf and salat of tawaf. Tawaf, because tawaf is like salat, as we are going to talk. All the other manasik al-Hajj, they don't require purification, like pelting the stone. It's recommended but not obligation. So don't worry too much about purification. Yes, recommended, as a recommended, it's excellent. So the whole manasik al-Hajj, only tawaf and salat al-tawaf, these 2, if you do in impurity, your tawaf is invalid, your salat is invalid, kiss your Hajj goodbye. So you need to be very careful about tawaf and salat al-tawaf. So quickly we'll go through the Umrah al-Tamattu' in brief. Umrah, prohibition, Ihram, prohibition from 25 things, Labbaik, locking the intention, Tawaf, circumambulation around the Kaaba, Salat al-Tawaf, Sa'i between Safa and Marwa, and Taqsir, unlocking the Ihram, and the rules of Ihram and Talbiyah. Of course, the rules of Ihram and Talbiyah have been explained already, so we are not going to repeat all that. We are going to start from Tawaf. Now, there is, as you saw, that there is no Tawaf al-Nisa. There is no Tawaf al-Nisa in Umrah al-Tamattu'. Why? Tawaf al-Nisa has been delayed. One Tawaf al-Nisa for Umrah and Hajj altogether. But the Sharia gives you permission to fulfill your lustful desires with your spouse between the unlocking the Ihram of Umrah and locking yourself again in the Ihram of Hajj. In that between, you are most of the things have been halal for you. Women also, you don't need Tawaf al-Nisa to make to fulfill lustful desires with your spouse, for both men and women. Tawaf al-Nisa has been delayed for Hajj. Let's see, Tawaf. Circumambulation around the Kaaba. In Umrah al-Tamattu', the second obligation is Tawaf. If a person purposely abandons it, his Hajj shall be null and void, even if he did not know the rule of it. It must be performed before the noon time of the day of Arafah. If the Umrah is invalid, then his Ihram will be invalid too. As if the Umrah is invalid, his Ihram will be invalid too. As a precautionary measure, he should intend a general intention including Umrah Mufrada and Hajj al-Ifrad. So if his Umrah is invalid, then his Ihram will be invalid too, the whole thing. But what should he do? He said, don't get out of Mecca. Complete whatever you are doing as a precautionary measure with the general intention of Umrah Mufrada and Hajj al-Ifrad. That means I'm converting my Umrah al-Tamattu' to Umrah Mufrada and Hajj al-Ifrad. That means you are going to do the whole manasik al-Hajj. Suppose if your Hajj was not okay, Arafat, Muzdalifah, at least your Umrah, because you do Tawaf also, you do Sa'i, so at least your Umrah will be okay. So that's the case if a person did not perform the Tawaf. The conditions of Tawaf. Remember, as I mentioned, in whole manasik al-Hajj, 2 things require purification: Tawaf and Salat of Tawaf. And the most toughest worship, condition wise, is Tawaf. Tawaf has so many conditions. You have to be careful about these conditions. The intention. I am performing, remember what and why. I am performing the Tawaf of Kaaba, Tawaf around the Kaaba. Whatever ways you want to say it, just say it in any language. It doesn't matter if it's mustahab to say it, but the main important thing is this: all things should be inside your mind and heart. You should be aware of what you are doing. As a part of my Umrah of Tamattu', Hajj of Tamattu', Hajjatul Islam, aiming the nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is not necessary to vocalize it. Internal intention is enough. purification from the minor and major metaphysical defilement or impurity by performing either wudu, ghusl or tayammum, each depending on practical responsibility. If I am obligated to do wudu, I have to do wudu. If I am obligated to do ghusl, then I have to do ghusl. If I cannot do ghusl or wudu, then I have to do tayammum. So a tawaf needs to be done in the status of purification. And these laws are explained in the rules of wudu, the purification, how to do wudu. Be careful. If your wudu is not correct, then your hajj is invalid. Why? Because your tawaf will be invalid. As same as salat, there's no mercy in wudu. In Sharia, wudu is the simplest act and easiest act, and yet people they make mistakes in that act. So there is no mercy in wudu. So be careful. Go to your sheikh, go to your alim, tell him, teach me the proper wudu. Wudu takes less than 10 seconds, maximum 15. The proper correct wudu does not take too much time. Just take 15 seconds of your teacher, of your sheikh, teach him, or go online nowadays on the internet, Google on performing wudu on the way of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. If you are a follower of Ahlul Bayt, you do wudu not according to the school of Ahlul Bayt, kiss your tawaf goodbye, kiss your salat goodbye, everything goodbye, So please go to a teacher, a scholar. If you are a follower of Ahlul Bayt, go to a teacher or a scholar who follows Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu, learn the wudu. The wudu main part is that every single portion of your water should reach the parts of wudu, And I'll just give make a brief demonstration. Pour the water here, up to down, up to down, up to down. Let every place, like these places, many people they forget, let every portion go reach the water. This is washing the face. Once is enough. You don't need to do it twice. But pour as many times you want. But wipe, spreading it out after doing this, this is done. This is the wudu for washing the face. And then pour water up the elbow. Many people, their elbows are dry. When we check the kids, even elders, sometimes we tell them to do wudu, we show them, see, this is dry. So pour the water up here and start from here to secure that your elbow has been washed. And then bring your hand in between the fingers so the water goes here. And then pour the water here, wash it, elbow, remember elbow, and bring it. And if you have rings, just wind the rings a little bit, turn them around so that water goes inside. So wash your face, wash your hand, right hand first, and then left hand. Don't touch anything, don't get any extra. Wipe your head. Of course, remove all the head gears. Just one finger is enough. That's the least. One finger, wipe from. You can go backwards depending on the marja. Some maraja they say on the basis of obligatory precaution should be from back to front. But some other maraja they say it's okay. You can go back to front, front to back. It doesn't matter. Like say the Sistani says you can come back to forth, and but don't bring it too down when you're doing masah. Don't bring it too down. And then we have the leg. The leg, for example, this is your leg. You will wipe your leg like this. This is your ankle. Let's say this is your ankle. This is your ankle. So this is your toes. You'll bring your finger up to here. You can do it like this also, from here to the toes, ankle to the toes, or toes to the ankle. The same thing is for the left feet. So right and left feet, you can do the masah. That's the wudu. If you do it properly, it should not take more than 10 to 15 seconds. That's it. So do the wudu properly. Do not mess up with your wudu, because if you mess up with your wudu unintentionally, kiss your tawaf goodbye, kiss your salat tawaf goodbye, kiss your hajj goodbye. So that is a very important issue. Tell your teacher, just perform the wudu. If you are in this area, come to me, I'll teach you the wudu. It's very important to know the wudu, and it's very simple, it's not complicated. And even leg wiping, you can wipe it this way, that way. Inshallah, we will have another film just to explain the laws of wudu. So purification is required. Purification of the body and the attire from the physical impurity. We mentioned if this your attire becomes najis, just go and wash it. Pour some water, squeeze it, drain the water out. If it's damp a little bit, that's fine. Pour another water if it was urine. First remove the particles of najasa, then start pouring the water. You don't need to wash the whole attire, as long as you secure the area which you need to wash. They secure this area which you need to wash. You don't need to wash the whole attire. The private parts must be covered. Of course, that's obvious. As in salat, it is narrated, at-tawafu kas-salat. Tawaf is like the salat. So whatever rules are for salat, they are for tawaf also. So tawaf is very important ritual of Hajj. It is as salat. So a circumcision of men, without it the tawaf is invalid. A person is considered not able to perform the Hajj until he gets it done. And if for some reason he was not able to perform it, then he should perform his Hajj and his tawaf by both him and his representative. So first of all, circumcision. A person, Muslim male, needs to be circumcised. If he's before reaching the age of adolescence. If he reaches the age of adolescence, he must be circumcised. Now, many times people they embrace Islam and they were not from one of those religions who have circumcision, or many Muslims, they were born, they were unaware of this procedure of circumcision, or they were in a place where they did not circumcise the child. It happens. So there are people they have. Suppose if this person tries to find a doctor and no doctor, oh hell no, we are not going to circumcise you. And so there are doctors, they might only circumcise the small kids. So anyhow, if somebody does not find, if there are other doctors, they do, but if suppose this person did not find somebody to circumcise him and he was obligated to go for Hajj, what should he do? He has to do the tawaf by himself, because tawaf requires a person to be circumcised, and also to allow someone else who's circumcised also. Of course, he doesn't have to check are you circumcised or not. No, of course, just like a benefit of doubt. So appoint somebody who's circumcised to perform tawaf on his behalf. Now these are obligations of tawaf. Those were conditions of tawaf. These are obligations. As I mentioned, all the manasik al-hajj, they're very easy, simple, less conditions. This is the most important issue, tawaf, and it has conditions and it has obligations. Now obligations of tawaf starts with the black stone, Hajar al-Aswad, and ends with it. It is precaution to start few steps before it and end after passing it with few steps. Keeping the holy Kaaba on his left side, and should not face the Kaaba completely or give the back completely while doing the tawaf. If such happens, then he should go back few steps from where he made such mistake and continue, because that part is not considered from his tawaf. The criteria is that when people observe him, they consider him not giving his face or his back to the Kaaba. Should not pass in the arch of Hijr Ismail while doing his tawaf. Number 4, he should not perform the tawaf on the slide base of the Kaaba known as Shadarwan. The circles around the Kaaba should be 7, not more and not less. Increasing or decreasing purposely invalidates the tawaf. Number 6, there should be no extreme breaks between circles of tawaf in a way that it is not considered tawaf, or a break for exiting the place of tawaf completely, like mataf. The tawaf should be done voluntarily on a free will. Therefore, if for some reason he was pushed or carried away without his intention or control, then that part is not considered tawaf. A person should not touch any part of Hijr Ismail or Kaaba except for the corners. Even that, if it will cause problems in his tawaf, he should avoid it. After the obligatory tawaf, he can do whatever he wants. So these are the conditions of tawaf. Now we mentioned that let's look at the illustration. It's better. Let's see. This illustration shows us the holy Kaaba. Now see, this is the, see this long area, this is the area of Mount Safa and Mount Marwa. This is the area of Mount Safa and Mount Marwa, this long area. And then we have this holy Kaaba, and see this small arch around holy Kaaba. There's arch of Ismail, Hijr Ismail. It is mentioned that grave of Prophet Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam is there, and his mother Hajar, and some 70 prophets also are buried there. Allahu Alam, but anyhow, it's you cannot go do tawaf inside Hijr Ismail. And this small point is Maqam Ibrahim, the footstep of Prophet Ibrahim, or station of Prophet Ibrahim. And all this area, this area, rectangle area or square area around the Kaaba is considered mataf. This Safa and Marwa area is not considered mataf. You cannot do tawaf. In fact, it's not considered part of Masjid al-Haram. So a woman in the period, she can sit and relax in the area of Safa and Marwa, because see, you can see it's out of the range of the tawaf, mataf. Why mataf? Focus on that, because it's very important to know the concept of mataf. It's the area of tawaf, the area where people consider the area of tawaf. They do tawaf in this area. So if you look down, we are going to explain the conditions of tawaf. For example, if you look down, see, this is Hajar al-Aswad, the next picture. This is Hajar al-Aswad, second on your right. And see down Abraham's station, that is Maqam Ibrahim, footstep of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. If you look inside it, you will find a stone which has engraved or carved with the footsteps of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. They say the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam used to use this stone with the miraculous power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put the bricks on the holy Kaaba, and it was like the angels would lift this stone to help Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam building the Kaaba. Anyhow, it was the station, and then Prophet Ibrahim took this place to offer his salat every time he was there. That's why we offer our salat al-tawaf behind the station of Prophet Ibrahim. So now we see Hajar al-Aswad, we see Hajar Ismail, black stone. Now there is a line stretched, black line stretched from Hajar al-Aswad down all the way to the area of tawaf, because we said we have to start where? With the Hajar al-Aswad. So we will start here from the before Hajar al-Aswad. We'll start a little bit, we'll make our intention, and we'll go around the Kaaba, and we cannot enter. See this opening in the Hajar Ismail? We cannot enter Hajar Ismail. It has to be around. You have to cover Hajar Ismail in it. So this is number one. Before the Hajar al-Aswad, just make your intention. So we start from Hajar al-Aswad. All these circles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After 7 also, just don't stop at that black line of Hajar al-Aswad. Cross the line a little bit to secure that you have completed the tawaf, and then leave and come behind Maqam Ibrahim to offer 2 salat of tawaf. Now Hajar Ismail, there's a very technical point we need to focus. We said that your back and front should not face the Kaaba. Your back and front should not face the Kaaba. Your left hand shoulder should face the Kaaba all the time. Yes, of course, not necessary to be micromillimeter, because it is mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ did the tawaf on his camel. So you cannot secure 100% accuracy in facing the left hand to the Kaaba, or directing your left shoulder to the Kaaba. But what happens, see, the technical point which we are trying to explain is when you come to Hajar Ismail, here your left shoulder is out. You see, it's in air. So you have to maneuver yourself in a way that you keep yourself, you make your turning in a way that your left hand, even when you come to Hajar Ismail, that this opening between Hajar Ismail and Kaaba, when you come to this place, you have to maneuver yourself in a way that you are still, your right shoulder is still directing towards Kaaba. And when you are coming from the other side also, coming back, see, there's an opening. Here also you see the route which is on the illustration. It goes in a way that if you go on this circle like egg type shape, then you will not miss Like see, a person is coming on this circle, his left shoulder is on the face directing towards Kaaba, his left shoulder is directing towards Kaaba, and then after he goes to this opening, he becomes regularly directs his left shoulder to the Kaaba. So this is the, now if you can see the picture on the left hand side, there is Hijr Ismail. This is the opening, the gap. So we are facing the Kaaba. On your right hand side you will see the place of birth of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam on the holy Kaaba, and on the left hand side is Hijr Ismail. And if you continue on your right hand side, in the corner in the right hand side, that's the Hajar al-Aswad. Then in between, the corner in between which we can see in front of us, that's the place of birth of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam when the holy Kaaba was split open. And then we come to Hijr Ismail, where this is opening. You cannot go inside while you're prophesying. People, they are not going inside. And then we said you cannot touch the holy Kaaba. Yes, you can touch the corners, it's mustahab, but leave this mustahab to the end, because while you are touching the corner, you might touch the wall of the Kaaba and your tawaf will become invalid. You cannot touch the wall of the Kaaba. You cannot touch the base, which is slided base or inclined base, which is called Shadarwan, underneath the Kaaba. You cannot touch that also. Don't touch Hajr Ismail. Just keep your tawaf going anti-clockwise. And when you come to this Hajr Ismail area, be careful that your right shoulder is still facing the Kaaba. If we go to the next photo, we can easily see the Shadarwan, the slided base of the holy Kaaba. We can clearly see the place of birth of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. And this place of birth, the split, it has been split for a long time. The holy Kaaba was destroyed by Yazid in order to eliminate this, but when they rebuild the Kaaba, the split comes back. By Hajjaj, the holy Kaaba was destroyed. The Saudi governments, they rebuild and remodel, but that split and that portion is so obvious that nobody can eliminate that place. It's a split where the holy Kaaba's wall made a split, and Fatima bint Asad, mother of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, went inside the Kaaba, and Imam Ali was born inside the Kaaba, and after 3 days she came out carrying Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam from inside the Kaaba. So that's why that split is still there. So if you can look at the photo, the corner which is facing us is the corner of the split. They call it mustajar. There is a recommendation to do dua here also. And then we have the other picture. You can see Maqam Ibrahim, the station of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Inside this, if you look, then you will find a stone which has the footsteps of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. So these are the illustrations of the holy Kaaba. Now again, let me repeat it. First of all, let's see, this is the holy Kaaba here. You cannot go around the holy Kaaba in clockwise. You have to go anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means you will be performing like this. So, and when you come to the arch of Ismail, your shoulder start, like let's say this is the arch of Ismail, this is the opening. So when you come to this side, start moving like this. See, this side is the holy Kaaba. So if you are this opening is arch of Ismail. I'll make it like this. This opening is arch of Ismail. Let's consider this holy Kaaba. So you are coming this side, you will start moving like this. See, your shoulder is still with the Kaaba. This opening is arch of Ismail. You are coming like this. Now you will go like this. Again, when you come to this side, let's see, when you come to this side, this is an opening. If you do like this tawaf, you are out of the range. So you are coming. This is your left shoulder. You are coming. You maneuver yourself in a way like you go. So when you come to the opening, don't be like this. Be like this. So that's when you go to Hajj, inshallah, you will be explained how to perform these kind of maneuvers. in order to perform the tawaf correctly, inshallah. And now we come to the second part, which is Salat al Tawaf. Number 4, Salat of Tawaf. Like Salat of morning, Salat al Fajr, must be performed immediately after Tawaf without any separation. It must be performed correctly. Behind the footsteps of Prophet Ibrahim والسلام, station of Prophet Ibrahim, as close as possible, and behind it exactly, but without disturbing the people who are performing the tawaf. If completely it was impossible, then he can perform it anywhere he can in the sacred mosque. This is only for recommended tawaf. It is not performed, if it is not performed purposely, intentionally, kiss your hajj goodbye. Hajj becomes invalid. If forgotten, you forgot it. You didn't, oh my goodness, I forgot to perform tawaf. Or suppose unintentionally you found out that your salat al-tawaf, you forgot to perform salat al-tawaf, unintentionally you found out that your salat al-tawaf was invalid, then perform your salat al-tawaf whenever you remember. Even you came back to your home, just perform your tawaf. If forgotten, then it should be performed whenever remembered and wherever remembered. That is, if it was not possible to go back to the sacred mosque or Mecca, and if he dies, then his heirs should make it up for him. Now Maqam Ibrahim, you have to pray behind Maqam Ibrahim. Like this is Maqam Ibrahim, you have to pray behind as close as possible. If you don't find enough space, go back, go back, go back. Don't disturb the people who are doing tawaf. This is very important. Many people, they start to bully around the tawaf. Wrong, don't do like that. People, the priority is for people performing tawaf in that mataf, tawaf area. That's the priority. Salat is second. In the whole world, it is recommended to offer salat. Salat is the best recommendation in worships. We have categories of recommendations. In charity, we have best charity. In knowledge, we have best knowledge. In worships, the best worship all around the world is salat. If you have an opportunity to offer salat as many times you can, salat al-layl, nighttime prayer, just do it. That's the best deed here. But inside the holy Kaaba, inside the sacred mosque, the best deed changes. Tawaf is more better than the salat. So if you have an option to either perform recommended tawaf or recommended salah, do recommended tawaf, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالرُّكَّعِ. So first the tawaf, and there are hadith that most of the blessing befall on the people who are performing tawaf, and then the second blessing falls on the people who offer salat, and then the other who do the Quran and all the others. So first level of the recommendation is tawaf. So after you are done with your obligatory tawaf, you can perform recommended tawaf. So people who are doing tawaf, they are prior. They have the priority. You cannot say, we are doing salat, you just do. No. If they are doing tawaf, they have the right to do tawaf. You go back. There's enough room for everybody. So let the people do tawaf close to the Kaaba. If there is not enough place, you'll disturb them. Especially in Hajj happens, people, they get disturbed. So just go behind, a couple of steps, as close as you can, a spot which is as close as, and it is behind Maqam Ibrahim exactly. Where you stand, you see Maqam Ibrahim in front of you. Yeah, it can be a little bit left or right, doesn't matter, but not too far away from the line which connects you to Maqam Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Now we come to the sa'i between Safa and Marwa. Conditions of Safa and Marwa must be performed after Salat of Tawaf. That's not too much. Sa'i is easy. The most part which you need to observe the conditions is Tawaf. Sa'i is very easy. It's not too much difficulty in sa'i. Must be 7 walks in between the Safa and Marwa, and the Marwa, the total of 3.5 circles. The intention, as mentioned in Tawaf, we mentioned, I am performing sa'i between Safa and Marwa for Umrah al-Tamattu', for Hajj al-Tamattu', to achieve the nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last round will end on Marwa. Must face the mount and not give his back to the mount like when you this is Mount Safa and Mount Marwa. So if you are going from Safa to Marwa, don't look behind. No, face the mount you're walking towards. So this is Mount Safa. Mount Safa is bigger. You're walking. Don't give. If you move left and right, go for a few steps behind and then continue. Don't just continue, because that gap has been invalid. So the whole sa'i will become invalid. The same thing is in tawaf. If you suppose do any accidental issue, sometimes the crowd will carry you in the tawaf. The crowd will carry you in the tawaf. So you feel like you're walking on the air. Your footsteps are moving, but you don't feel the ground on you. That means you are doing tawaf not with an option. So you need to drop yourself down somehow, or whenever you are freed from that clutch, come back a little bit, and from the place you stopped, or you were in air, you're levitating, just come back that area and do. Or if it's difficult to come back, make a circle, not with the intention of tawaf. Make a circle and come to that point back and do the tawaf. So just go back and do the tawaf. Any mess up happens, you touch the wall of the holy Kaaba, you touch Hajar Ismail, you gave your face completely to the Kaaba, your back completely to the Kaaba. As we mentioned, not accuracy 100% not required. Orphan people, they consider you are not facing the Kaaba, you are not giving the back to the Kaaba, that's fine. Like this, it doesn't matter. Yani, the angles, not necessary. This is the Kaaba, so you can be like this, you can be, but don't face the Kaaba, don't give your back to Kaaba. If that happens, you have to come back. Any problem happens in tawaf, you have to come back and recontinue that portion, that segment. The same thing of sa'i. If you looked at the Safa, like many people, they're like walking, like they're walking in the garden with their family, or like hiking or whatever. So they will look behind. Where are you guys? Come on. If you look behind completely, you face the Safa while you're walking to Marwa, or opposite, then you go back few steps and redo your few steps, those few steps which so whenever you perform anything which invalidates the sa'i or tawaf, go back a little bit to the area which you perform that kind of thing, and continue. Starts from Safa and the last round will end on Marwa. Must face the mount, not and should not give his back to the mount he is proceeding to. On violation of this rule, he must go back few steps and correct it. Climbing the mount is not necessary. It is important to reach the edge of the mountain where it starts. The walk should be in between the known place and where the people usually do their walk. So you cannot go outside and do the walk. No, this long lobby is prepared for the sa'i. So just do your walk in this long lobby where people, they usually do their walk. The thing is that when you are walking between Safa and Marwa, there are green pillars. You will see when the green pillar comes, people, they start to jog. So this jogging is recommended. This two stations, two green pillars, it's recommended. It's not obligation. They say, it is mentioned in the narrations, that when Prophet Ibrahim was walking, Shaitan came. He wants to whisper him. He started to jog, to run away from him. And Shaitan was following. Once Shaitan got hopeless, he left Prophet Ibrahim. Prophet Ibrahim started to continue his walk regularly. So that's why it is recommended to harwala, they call it, just hit it and jog, and then when the other green pillar comes, you stop. That's a recommendation. The walk should be in between the known place and where the people usually do their walk. And people, if they cannot walk, they can always use the wheelchairs and all the other means to do the tawaf. And climbing the mount is not necessary. When you come to the edge which is inclined, you can just touch your leg to the mountain, the portion of mountain. That's it. You don't have to. The walk is between Safa and Marwa. But if you come towards the slided area, the inclined area, just go there to the mountain, and then you can come back. You want to satisfy yourself, touch your leg at least to the mountain part. See, this is the photo of Safa and Marwa. This is the Safa and this is the Marwa. Safa is on your left hand side Marwa is on your right hand side. See, Safa is facing the Hajar al-Aswad. This is the Hajar al-Aswad, black stone. These are the two green pillars we mentioned, where people they do their harwala, their jogging. So you come down, you make your intention, and then you walk. You walk until you come here, and then you come back. So that's one round, and this is second. So basically you're making 3.5 circles. That means your circle, your tawaf, 7th round, this from Safa to Marwa is considered one round, Marwa to Safa is considered second round. So the 7th round will end on Marwa. As I mentioned, these are the only condition. The only condition you need to observe: walk in the place where people they walk, and face Marwa while you are going to Marwa, face Safa while you are going to Safa. Do not give your back to the mount you are going to. If you do that, just go back and continue. And you can see these are two photos of how, like on your right hand side, right below, you can see these green pillars. They're green fluorescent lights. They're long from up to down. In this place, the people they jog. And on the lower left hand side, this is the start of Mount of Safa, like people that are going towards Marwa. The photo is taken from the Mount of Safa. And then we have, when you come to Marwa, what do? It's time to unlock the ihram. That's also easy, but you have to be careful. If you have not unlocked your ihram, don't cut. There are many people that are so excited they start cutting off the hair of other people. You are muhrim. You cannot cut the hair of other people. So what will happen here? You are in trouble. So first make yourself halal. Unlock your ihram. Unlock. I'm cutting off my hair to order to become muhil. That means lil ihlal. That means to make things which are haram on me halal while the status of ihram. Of course, there are things haram like lying and bragging and all those. Those things are haram before ihram. But we are talking about things which became haram while ihram. Now you are going to make it halal, except for few things like hunting and uprooting the hunting inside the sacred land, or uprooting the grass of in the tree of the sacred land. Those things will remain because those things are not on you. Those things are for the places. Because you are in that place, it's not allowed for you to uproot those things. But anyhow, when you cut off your hair or your nail, maybe from your beard or your mustache, you become halal. I mean, you unlock your ihram. So taqsir, and this is taqsir, the intention should be to unlock the ihram, as same as mentioned in the tawaf and ihram. I am unlocking my ihram. I'm doing taqsir to unlock my ihram for Umrah Tamattu, Hajj Tamattu, Hajj al-Islam, because to achieve the nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It should be done after the sa'i, and where he wishes, anywhere he wishes, even at his home. You don't have to do it on Marwa. Suppose you did not have scissor, it's better to do it Marwa. You can go home, because while going in the way you might encounter some of those invalidators, perfume, this, that. So that's why just unlock your ihram on Marwa and carry a scissor with you, small handy scissor. And be careful, the women, they make this mistake. They will take out their ponytail and they'll cut in. Wait, where's the hijab? There are men around you. So let the cutting of the hair be under their ihram. They should not take. And sometimes we are in the caravan, the ladies, Sheikhna, they will take their ponytails out and, Sheikhna, please, taqsir, they will be like 5, 6 sisters. No, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. Keep it underneath. We can teach you that intention. You cut a little bit of your hair, I'm unlocking my ihram. I'm cutting off a little bit hair to unlock my. Don't shave. That's the red zone. Don't shave. Men, don't shave. After the taqsir, there is no tawaf of women in Umrah of Tamattu, and every permitted things which was forbidden on him while ihram becomes halal and permitted on him, except for hunting inside the sacred land and uprooting the plants of the sacred lands, as we will mention. And after that, you have to stay in Mecca. On the basis of obligatory precaution, one must not leave Mecca. You can go home, you can wear your regular clothing and have your fulfill your lustful desires with your spouse. It's done. Now the only thing is that the uprooting and all those kind of things are left, hunting and uprooting, and don't exit Mecca on the basis of obligatory precaution. One must not leave Mecca after permitting the rituals of Umrah of Tamattu until the day of Hajj, when he leaves Mecca for Arafat with the ihram of Hajj. However, if he knows that he can come back and he wanted to leave for a need, even though if it was not necessary, he can leave and come back for the ihram of Hajj. So if it was, if he wanted to leave, even it was not so necessary. For example, many times some of the Hujjaj, they go out, not the caravan leader. Caravan leader is exempted from this rule. But we are talking about some of those who might need to go and purchase their goat, and these goats are sold or sheep are sold outside the outside Mecca. So in that case, it's not a problem. But if he knows that he cannot come back to Mecca in the time for ihram, for the ihram of Hajj al-Tamattu, or he doubts in that, then he must leave after becoming muhrim, and he can directly go to Arafat after he's done with his need. However, the new streets and suburbs that have sprung around the holy city of Mecca are considered part of Mecca. So now what this mas'ala says? This mas'ala says that suppose if you had to leave, what will you do? If you had to leave Mecca and you knew that you will not be able to come back Mecca to become muhrim for Hajj, become muhrim and leave Mecca. And after you are done with your hajat, whatever, go from there to Arafat. You don't need to come back to Mecca. So this is the case. But just stay in Mecca, don't leave Mecca, do ibadah, do worship. It's recommended to do tawaf in the number of the years. Like for example, how many days we have in the years? About 365. So doing about 50 tawaf, 5 sevens is 35, 350 tawaf. You know, if you do like 50 or 51 tawafs, 51, do it on your behalf every day. Like if you are staying 10 days, you know, and you are doing 10 days, then performing tawaf in the after Salat al-Fajr, after Salat al-Dhuhr, after Salat al-Maghrib. In 10 days, you will be performing how many tawaf? 30 tawafs. 30. And after Hajj, perform a bunch of tawaf. So it is but of course if people they cannot do, it's not a problem. But since you are there, just worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And by this we end Umrat al-Tamattu. In our next session we'll start the rituals of Hajj al-Tamattu. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi tahirin.